Hacker 4chan is at it again, and this time, Hacker 4chan takes a survey for Harvard. Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, and today, on 4chan.org/poll, politically incorrect. So, here you can see, Anonymous says, Harvard University is doing a public survey about the popularity of gun legislation. Can y'all do stuff? And here's a link to the survey. Here's a little picture. Now please rate your level of support for each proposal listed below. And you can see the options listed here. So, let's find out what Hacker 4chan has to say. And maybe we'll take a look at the survey. So, here Annan says, sure, shall. What could he mean by this, I wonder? Here you see in this picture. Is there anything you would like to tell us with respect to your opinions on gun control? Shall. Now this is a reference to shall not be infringed. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Such language has created considerable debate regarding the amendment's intended scope. So what this means is, every group of people should be allowed to regulate their own militia, protect the security of their own state, and bear their arms. It shall not be infringed. It's very clear. Here Annan says, I'm doing my part. Here Anonymous says, Harvard. What is this, 1970? Fucking trash school. Ooh, here Annan has a really good post. Let's see what they wrote. In that box I wrote a paragraph that I hoped would appeal to liberal ethos. Legislating restricting access to firearms negatively affects everyone. It keeps single mothers from protecting their children from ex-abusers. It keeps women from being safe at night as well. It keeps minorities from protecting themselves from mobs, bigoted and ill-intentioned. It keeps American families from maintaining or regulating property in rural or dangerous areas. Above all, it keeps the populace from standing up to a government which ruthlessly denies their people basic rights and enforces tyranny. Any law restricting access to any arm violates these people's rights to self-preservation. To those who say the police will do the job of protection, who will be the ones enforcing the tyranny? At the very least, the U.S. National Police response time is minutes. By then, any situation that would have been resolved with the blood of innocent single mothers and minorities spilled by evildoers. This is actually brilliant. Here we have an amazing, anonymous person who is trying to speak reason to the liberal, trying to communicate. It's well thought out, it's logical, and it uses some points that the liberal is sure to find convincing. We need guns so that minorities and women can protect themselves. How brilliant. Does logic work on these people? Well, that's still up for debate. Annan replies, am I a member of your personal army? Here Annan said, red flag laws are unconstitutional, and I would agree. Such laws should not exist. It's called pre-crime, and it's straight out of a dystopian novel or film. You cannot arrest someone before a crime has been committed, and yet, that's exactly what the boomers at the FBI have been doing. They've been arresting people for memes and mean words online. It's entirely un-American. Here Annan says, no free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms. Thomas Jefferson. Putting a meme instead of a quote from the Founding Fathers. Here Annan says, denying the Second Amendment right to the American people is grounds for death. Now what I think they're trying to say is treason. In fact, it was written in our Constitution, and our founders fully intended that the people of America be able to overthrow their government if it becomes corrupt and tyrannical. After all, America was born because we were trying to escape from a tyrannical dictator, the king. So here's one from an Annan, and I think it's pretty interesting. Is there anything else you would like to tell us with respect to your opinions on gun control? The people only gained the right to bear arms in France after the revolution, when they overthrew the privileged elite. The American people won their freedom to self-determine and to establish a republican government with their arms. Aristotle writes in his Politics that only those who have the right to bear arms are full citizens. Gun control is anti-republican, anti-democratic, and a threat to a self-determining peoples. If citizens abuse this right, then it is because they failed to live up to their duties. But duties are never spoken of in America today, because a responsible people is a strong people, i.e. the enemy of tyrants. And tyrants know that the tree of liberty is fertilized with their blood. Now that whole quote, the tree of liberty is fertilized with blood. What that means is, it becomes necessary to overthrow the corrupt every now and then. And America's spent a long time without overthrowing the corrupt, and look at America today. We have people who regularly talk about betraying the country, betraying its values, and doing stuff like repealing gun rights. It is not okay. So here we have an add-in. Judas Sheep, who has betrayed hacker 4chan. He betrayed him, look at what he did. Well, the majority of Americans don't care about politics or guns. Idiots on 4chan are vocal on ruining all these surveys for the lulz. Start considering other ways to collect data perhaps. Dude, this is a Judas Sheep, screw you. He betrayed hacker 4chan. He must be punished. Annan says, Judas. Annan says, you have to go back. Presumably to Reddit. Anonymous makes a good point in reply, ruining. They literally want to get the opinions of other people, hence an online survey. An online political board is a great place to post it to get the opinion of people who actually care. And that's a good point. This is what I don't get about people. Oh no, these hackers are ruining my survey. How dare them? Like when someone on Twitter, like when a Democrat posts some horrendous survey where there's only one right answer and they want you to answer a specific way, defeating the purpose of a survey. It's like, you put this out there as a public survey to get everyone's opinion, but you only want the opinions from your hug box. That's not a survey. You're just looking for an echo chamber. So I don't know if this is bait or maybe Annan was trolling. We'll never really know. That feel when you realize how many more kids have to die is not a rhetorical question or a political statement, but rather it's a threat that they will do anything to take your guns from you. Here Annan writes, 1776. Okay, so here Annan has an actual good point. The founding fathers knew what they were talking about. You can pretend that they had never seen a machine gun or whatever, but this is false. They already had rapid-fire volley ship guns at that time, that the public were allowed to own. If a private citizen could own a warship back when the Constitution was written, then they can own an AR-15 now. And that's a really good point. You see, the founders actually had private cannons, and they would fire the cannons at hills, just for the fun of it. You see, those with the weapons are those with power, and the founders wanted to ensure that the people have power. Here Annan says, fully automatic weapons should be made fully legal, as the founding fathers intended, and I agree. We should be able to buy nukes if we want, and bunker busters. Why not? Why not? Now the actual survey itself is really nothing special. It asks you a bunch of questions with an obviously liberal slant. To what extent do you agree with the following statement? Gun control policies infringe on my rights. Strongly agree, of course. And then look at this. Now please rate your level of support for each of the proposals listed below. Requiring background checks on all gun sales, banning the sales of semi-automatic weapons, limiting the amount of ammunition that can be purchased within a month, enacting 30-day wait periods for gun sales. So as you can see, these are all liberal questions. These are all leftist questions. It's all about getting rid of your guns, getting rid of your rights, taking away things from you. Now, anyone should be allowed to take this quiz. Anyone. I see no reason they shouldn't be. If you want to take this survey, I say you can do so. I say it's no big deal. I say go ahead and take this survey. I think I'll write here, imagine a world without guns. Imagine the police breaking down your doors and dragging you out in the street, then prosecuting you, aka shooting you in the head because you defied the government. This is a world without guns. You can do nothing, and you are nothing, because the people with the guns control your life. Guns are the only thing standing between you and tyranny. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. What do you think about this little survey? What do you think about Hacker 4chan and his answers and perspective? Be sure to let me know. Now, as always, if you want to support the content that I make, You can join me on Patreon or Subscribestar for as low as $1. Doing so will get you access to Fight Club, a private Discord server. There's also PayPal and Bitcoin options if you're interested. As always, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.